Hey guys, I'm over here chilling on my lunch break in the car, and if you see food anywhere, I just scarfed down a whole lunch right now. So, so yeah. um, there's a quote that I saw this morning that I was like, wow, this is perfect. And I was talking about this past weekend that just passed, with my family about how it's like a paradox. I forgot how the quote went because I literally just got through like a bunch of calls after that quote and after that blog. But something about my actions. Basically, I'm not responsible, nor do I have the control over how someone else decides to respond or react to something, whether it's me or someone else that did something or said something. So that's one side of it. At the very same token, understand that everything I decide to say and do, or anyone for that matter, has consequences, which could be any response or reaction from anyone else because of what you decided to say or do. So, it's a paradox, but it makes perfect sense. And that's usually how the universe works as far as teaching us wisdom. Wisdom can be very paradoxical, and it shows you both sides of the coin, that things aren't just one way, that we should look deeper into each side of it in order to fully understand the entire picture. Okay, a lot like yin yang. You can't do light without dark, dark without light. You need the whole picture to understand it in its completeness. So it's the same thing with this, except for it's not dark or light concerning this issue. It's more just, although I'm solely responsible for what I say and do and how I feel and what I think and how I perceive and interpret life and experiences, I also understand that when I go to say or do something, that I am free to say and do whatever I want, but I'm not free of any of the consequences that come from it, whether they're good or bad. And it could be something good. People think that, don't always associate the word consequence with something negative, because it's not. Consequence is just cause and effect, basically. You can't action reaction. You can't do an action without a reaction. Everything has a reaction or response. Everything. So although you're free to say and do whatever you want, and with the understanding that how other people decide to behave is their decision, it's not you made them. There's no victim here at all. At that same token, it's very important to apply the wisdom with that. In that freedom, there should be wisdom applied. And that wisdom is that although I can say and do what I want, I have to understand what are the consequences that could happen from my actions or words in this particular setting that I want to say or do this in, and what is that going to bring back, and how is that going to affect my life or the lives around me. Because a lot of times we don't think about that part, we don't consider that part. We just think that whatever I do is me, and then however you react is all on you. And although that's partially correct, it's partially also forgetting cause and effect. The effect that your actions have on on the person, place, or thing around you. So exercise free will, but What is this in my throat? I must have really scarfed down that lunch really fast. So yeah, you're free to, that's part of free will. You're free to do whatever you want. You can be a good person, you can be a bad person, you could switch, you can alternate, you can be flying in between, you could do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. You're free. The only thing you're not free from is what's going to happen after. The effect, the response, the reaction. The universe works a lot like that too. You're free to choose which thoughts that you decide to engage in or pay attention to or give energy to. You're free to do that. You can pay attention to your thoughts and pick and choose. You have that power. Thoughts don't have power over you unless you just give up or surrender to the thought. So we're free to choose our thoughts, but we're not free of what we will be manifesting here in reality because we paid attention to that thought. So a thought can enter my head, but unless I pay attention to it, it's not going to manifest. We have so much control. We have so much power. And yet, so many of us don't even realize the power that we hold and why our lives are created the way they are. And we don't realize it's us that's doing it. So it's very important to be mindful of your thoughts, your actions, your words, your feelings, your intentions. All of these things create whatever's in front of you, and they're going to create a cause and effect, a action-reaction. Nothing's exempt from that in life. Absolutely nothing. So, in your free will, be mindful. Pay attention to where you're at, who you're around, and know that this also goes kind of hand in hand with this. Although you're free to say and do whatever you want, learn when. That makes a big difference in your life too. Learn when to say and do things and when not to. Learn when it's necessary and when it's not. Know when it's wise to and when it's not wise to. Know when it's going to help and when it's going to hurt. And let all these factors let any decision that you're trying to make pass these factors, and that way you're more comfortable and understanding towards the decision that you're making before you just react. Learn to respond, and in responding you're taking everything into account, including everything I just said. These are things to take into account that even I had to learn the hard way, because I was always like, I'm just going to say whatever the hell I want when I want. And no, it don't work that way. And the consequences that came from it taught me it. And it taught me it over and over and over. And I wasn't ever getting the response that I thought I would get, because I wasn't considering myself first. I wasn't looking at myself in the mirror saying, well, how can I expect this kind of response when I'm coming at this situation the way I am? So these are all things to keep an account in your head when making decisions and learning to interpret, learning how to interpret the experiences in front of you, the people in front of you, how to respond to situations that you're in and circumstances, and help you make wiser decisions. I know sometimes people wish we could just do whatever the hell we want, which you can technically. But to do whatever you want and get away with it is irrational, and it's not real. You can't just do whatever you want and not affect things the wrong way and you still get what you want. Otherwise, we would all be going rampant. So take these things into account whenever you're making your decisions, or even in your thoughts when you're sitting there thinking. And these things will definitely help you see things in a wiser light. Hope this helped, because this is definitely helping me right now in my own everyday life and people that are in front of me. These are things that I have put in my head to be mindful about and have helped me be a better me in certain situations in my life. Hope that helped. Love you guys. If you guys have anything to share, put it down in the comments. You're free to speak. I'm very open-minded. I'm all ears. And subscribe so that way we can keep talking. We can keep on this journey. All right, you guys. Love and blessings.